So first show, gave you a experience कि कैसे होता है, and the second show that you got was Ek Duje Ke Vaaste, where you played the lead. So it was your first time playing a lead. So how was it pressurizing to you, or did you feel कि यार एक अलग responsibility है because you are going to play the lead of the show, and this show was loved by everyone so much, and I think you gained major popularity from this show. So how was this pressurizing or not feeling of yours?
Pressure, so obviously it was there, and it was a pressure I took on Kabul also. I think now I'm realizing that I take too much pressure in general, and it was almost everything was so new, but everything was done so well that I think I was a bit spoiled by that, especially with the way Sony treated that show, because at that time they were doing a complete haul over of the channel. So Kuchrang and we were launched together. Ek Duje Ke Vaaste were launched together, and we were given so much, like everything was done so well. I remember the first promo also we shot. The director was Gajendra Singh, who's an amazing actor, and I got there and I was like, oh my god, he's directing, and har cheez bahut carefully ki gayi thi. Everything was thought through. Everything was given a lot of care. Even the dialogues and everything was very specific. Ki aapko yahi yaad karna hai. But I think the great thing was that Kabul was a bit like, the girl opposite me was a witch with a khanjar in her instead place of her heart. Like there was an X-ray, और उनकी heart की जगह खंजर था, and that is very hard to kind of grip all of a sudden, like to just come in and be like, okay, this is the reality of what I'm dealing with, especially when it's new. The great thing about Ek Duje Ke Vaaste was that it was very relatable. Like, okay, the guy was rich and arrogant, but वो जो बोलता था, the dialogues, the way they were spoken, the way they were written, were very everyday, जैसे हम बात करते हैं. So that was one thing that really helped me. And the other thing was that because there was no VFX, and I've realized कि, since I've done other shows with VFX and stuff, कि एक scene को अच्छा time देते थे. Like every scene got time. Obviously, if you look at the show in the beginning, there were so many things that suddenly went wrong, which I didn't even pay attention because I was so like, okay, चलो मुझे अपना काम करना है. Like my throat just shut like that because जहाँ जैसे studio जो होते हैं उनमें बहुत धूल होती है. So my allergy suddenly acted up and my throat was like this, और मेरी आवाज नहीं निकल रही थी ढंग से. And then मेरे back में कुछ pull हो गया था जो constant मैं कुछ भी बोलूं वहाँ पे ऐसे चुभन सी होती थी. Then one day my Ola guy banged it और वो और भी बुरी तरह से खिंच गया. Like banged his car, वो और बुरी तरह से खिंच गया. And everything that could kind of get in the way did get in the way. But I think I was so like happy that something had worked out that I didn't care and I just kept doing whatever. जो भी आता रहा, I tried, I gave it my best. कुछ अच्छा होता था, कुछ बुरा होता था. I think at that time I had no idea कि scene में मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, कैसे कर रहा हूँ. I just like जो लाइनें याद करी and जो उस time पे निकला, I used to just give it whatever the director told me. I think later I learned कि थोड़ा मैं अपना सोच समझ के अच्छा ये सब कर सकता हूँ. वो बाद में आया. At that time everything was like rushing at me at such a fast pace that I just was like जो होगा होगा. I'm going to give my best and touch wood, hopefully everything works out. That was my mentality, I think, at that point.
Yeah, so in this show, like the pairing of yours and Nikita ma'am was loved so much, and even you all won the Best Jodi award. And it's also been 5 years of the show. So how's your bonding with Nikita ma'am, and are you guys still in touch? And how frequently, like, do you meet and all?
So birthdays, we wish each other on birthdays. We met at the 4-year anniversary because it was like a 2020 thing, and it doesn't always work out. Like I think we spoke about meeting the year before also, but I was here around that date and she was shooting somewhere. She's been really busy with her thing. So obviously the show is special to both of us, and we make an effort to thank the fans for what they've done. But again, I've been here for like almost 1.5 years now. So it's not like I've met anyone except Vikram and Donald when they came here. So we are in touch and very thankful for the opportunity we were given by the show, I think. At least I won't speak for her, but I obviously am.
Okay. So, the other shows that you have done, like back to back, which was Ek Divana Tha, then Kavach. So, both of these shows are like very supernatural, thrilling, horror. So, this was something different that you have done, from your before shows. So, was it challenging to you, or were you had some other thoughts about doing such type of a show?
I don't think the challenge was in as much, especially Kavach. I was very comfortable with it by the time we got to Kavach. Ek Divana Tha was a challenge, especially because I didn't speak for 60 episodes. I would just record one shairi at the end of the episode, and that would be the extent of my scene. And at the same time, I wasn't shooting a lot in the beginning. So that was definitely a challenge because when you sign a show, you want to be busy, you want to be working, you want to speak. But whatever, some things happened, and it was supposed to be 20 episodes of me not speaking, and it ended up being 60 episodes. And 60 episodes, if you're talking about, that's even in airing, that's 3 months. Shooting was about 5 months. So for 5 months, I'm not speaking. Sometimes I pop up, and after a while, you start wondering, like, this is what I used to do half the time, was like, or like, suddenly I'd pop up and like, bah, like, bhoot aaya. And that would be my job today. Like, I would wait for like 12 hours, and then like they'd shoot everything. And the way VFX is shot, it would be like everything is shot, and then I would just come in the end with my lenses, and he'd be like, "Acha, aaj humne ye socha hai ki like yahan se aa jao." या फिर उल्टा होके आ जाता था नीचे से. So even we used to get confused किस तरह से कहाँ से लाए, so it doesn't start looking so repetitive कि वो आ गया है वहाँ पे एकदम से. And I think that was the main challenge. Once I started speaking, then it became like normal acting. And after that, I don't think that was too much of a challenge. It's just I don't think I ever realized how much physical action goes into horror shows, because भूत आ जाता है, भागना है, कोई किडनैप हो गया, भागना है, वहां जा रहे हैं तो गिरना है, कोई उठा, और स्पेशली हीरो को तो भूत ऐसे मारता है, हीरोइन को तो मार नहीं सकते, तो भूत हीरो कभी उड़ता हुआ इधर जाता है, कभी उड़ता हुआ वहां जाता है, कभी उसको यहाँ चोट लग जाती है, उसको वहां गिरा देता है, और भूत से लड़ भी नहीं सकते. So you don't even feel like a hero. It's like, मैं तेरा कुछ, like even you feel like, why am I threatening a ghost? Like when you're like, मेरे सामने आ, देखते हैं तू क्या करेगा, मर दे तो मेरे सामने आ. It's like, even if he comes, like, what am I going to do? I'm just a human being. So yeah, after like that physical thing was a lot, especially for the first 20-30 episodes of Kavach. It's like so much running, रात के बीच में सूट में, एक तो सूट होते हैं अच्छे टाइट से, इतने उसमें आपको भागना है, गिरना है, बढ़ना है. So I think physically I never realized how challenging these horror shows are going to be. वो जो the rigging that they put on you, and you have to like float down and stuff, all that is quite hard work, and a lot of work goes into that, and it's very dangerous also sometimes. Like I posted a video where I was dropped onto my knee. So physically it's very hard, but I think besides that, I wouldn't say it was too much of a challenge.
Okay. So, the last show before this break that we took, so the last show that you did was Kasauti. So even though you were there for a very short time, but how much did you enjoy working for this character and with the cast for the show, even though it was for a short time? So, like, was it a sudden entry of yours, and were you sudden approached, or you took your time to decide doing this show?
It was very, very sudden. It was like the creatives from Kavach called me, and they had been working on Kasauti before Kavach. So once Kavach shut down, they called me and they said that we are introducing a character in 2 or 3 days. Do you want to do it? And I was like, what is the story? And they said that, listen, it's going to be a negative character. In the beginning, he's going to look nice, but eventually he's going to be the negative character. I was like, cool. Because I was supposed to do Kasauti before Kavach also. Like everything was signed, and then it got flipped. In the end, I went and did Kavach. So, and at that time, I was very clear that I didn't want to sign another show, because at that time, mostly what I was getting was, again, supernatural, werewolf, vampire, jo bhi hota hai, that kind of stuff. The calls were coming, and I was done with all of that. और मुझे थोड़ा सा करके देखना था कि like कि मैं normal आदमी play कर सकता हूँ. I just wanted to be sure, like कि, and the other thing was that I wanted to be a villain, but I didn't I am still not very comfortable committing to a long-term show of being the villain, because I think because of the way television is structured, they can guarantee you 60-70 episodes of a story कि villain क्या करने वाला है. But after that, अगर TRP आ रही है नहीं आ रही है, अगर आपको ड्रामा चाहिए तो villain will start doing some crazy things and कुछ पता नहीं होता कि क्या लिख के आ जाएगा. And I don't want to go to set and be like नहीं मुझे ये नहीं करना and I'm not okay with this. If I sign on to do a villain, I'll do like full on. जो भी लिखेंगे I'll do it. So I'm not in that zone. So I just wanted to try कि like Cameo hai, and they said very clearly कि if TRP doesn't come, it's a maximum 3 months, and if it doesn't come, then maybe shorter. So like हाँ ये करके देख लेते हैं. And I wanted to take a break because I had been working for a while. I didn't think the break would become what it has become because of Corona and everything. Yeah, so I went and did the show, and it was fine. I think in the end, the story got changed a bit. That's why my character kind of did a very quick exit. But I mean, working with Balaji is amazing. They're great in that way. Everything is very sorted. And I don't think I've ever worked on a show that is that big. Like Kabule was big, but this was massive. Even after a year and a half, everything was done on a big scale. There were no corner cuttings. If something had to take 2 days, they would take 2 days. So that was very great. And I had fun in the end. I wish I'd gotten to play the negative part a bit longer. I think wohi hua ki shuru mein I was the guy was supposed to be very, very seedha, so that when the negative turn came, it was like, oh shit, like, kya hai? Although TV audiences are so smart, they know. Because, see, either he can be very, very good or he can be evil. दो ही तरीके होते हैं जो दूसरा आएगा. ऐसा तो हो नहीं सकता, उसमें बहुत सारे शेड्स होने वाले हैं. So they knew, they were like, अच्छा ये तो या तो villain, ये आज इसने villain वाला काम किया या फिर आज ये, oh, it's so nice, he's so understanding. So it was going to be one of two. And मैं बीच में थोड़ा सा I would put the villain in, and the director would be like, no, don't do any of that. Just be a super nice guy, so that when the villain turn comes, everybody's like, oh my god. But villain turn आया, उसके I think 2 हफ्ते बाद they were like, okay, we have to do the Bajaj was coming back or something. And so it was a very short period of being villain, but I very enjoyed being like, the scheming and gun दिखा रहे हैं किसी को ये कर रहे हैं. So that was fun for me. Yeah. Hi guys, my name is Namik. You're watching me on Famizo. Please like, subscribe and share. Subscribe and share.